Hello everyone, my name is Lianna Mirzoyan and I'm working as a recruitment officer at Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, located in Frankfurt.
I'm Felix Papier. I'm the Dean of Pre-Experience Programs and the Director of the Master in Management program at the ESSEC Business School in France, in our Paris campus, but then also in Singapore and in Rabat in Morocco.
My name is Lorz and I represent the SIM program, the Strategy in International Management Master at the University of St. Gallen. And within this master program, I serve as careers manager, so in charge of the employability of the students, helping them to enhance their employability.
Our Master in Management program at Frankfurt School is a 2-year program. It's entirely taught in English, and the total tuition fee for a 2-year Master in Management Frankfurt School is 33,000 euros. How it works, our students, they have classes 3 days per week, and one of them is Saturday. Usually it's Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the rest 3 full business days, they are welcome to work part-time or have a working student position or internship in different companies in Frankfurt, which also gives you an opportunity to earn some money and for your everyday expenses.
Program cost is the same between the different campuses. So for the next intake in 2022, the tuition fees for students for EU nationals are 37,200 euros over the 2-year duration of the program. And for non-EU nationals, it is 43,000. We recommend, or we suggest, or we said that probably an average living costs per month around 1,000 euros for our Paris campus, and similar in Singapore. But then again, that depends very much on the lifestyle. So for example, one decision is whether you stay close to our campus here around 40 minutes outside Paris, or whether you want to stay in the city center of Paris. And then of course, questions around your lifestyle, if you go out frequently, if you spend money on other things that go beyond the normal spending of a student, of course. But I think 1,000 euros is actually a good average. There are students who spend less money than that because they're very careful, and there are students who probably spend more money than that.
We are indeed different to some of our colleagues school. We call our schools colleagues. We are cantonal university, which means that our tuition fees are rather low. So that might be surprising to many. It's roughly 3,300 Swiss francs at the moment for international students. And our master program is at least 3 semesters. So you should, for tuition fees, you can count 10,000 francs more or less, which is a very good, decent amount. Switzerland is, of course, known as having quite high living costs. So students arriving in St. Gallen should keep this into consideration. However, out of all the more bigger cities in Switzerland, for example, rents are the lowest in St. Gallen, and we are a student city. St. Gallen is a student city, so a lot of students live together and find quite decent priced accommodation. So I think those 2 are the main chunks to keep in mind when planning your budgeting for your studies.
Usually, our students as part-time work employees, they can earn 1,500 euros per month with net, of course, and this gives them an opportunity to pay for their rent and everyday costs like clothing, food, and also transportation. But for transport, Frankfurt School also offers some discounts for the tickets, so don't worry about it. You will be able to travel as well through the whole Hessen, and will have also your discounts for the tickets.
We have a variety of different financing situations. So maybe the majority of students self-finance the tuition fees and the living expenses. A majority of students, I think, taking a loan when they come to ESSEC. We also have different options with local banks to easily get a loan for the tuition fees and living expenses. Then we do have also scholarships. So based on academic merit, students can receive a scholarship for part or even very large part of the tuition fees. So that's communicated directly with the admission decision. There are also different types of government-sponsored scholarships, either from the country the student is from or from the French government. And then finally, and that is probably a little bit specific to ESSEC, we have the apprenticeship contract, or the possibility for a student, for an MIM student, to do an apprenticeship. And so apprenticeship means that for a duration of 2 years, you are working in a company for around 40% of your time, and then 60% of your time you are here at ESSEC. So it can be, for example, on a weekly rhythm, so that Monday and Tuesday you work in a company, and then from Wednesday to Friday you are at ESSEC. Or it can be that you work for a couple of weeks in the company, and then a couple of weeks come here to the courses at ESSEC. And if you are in an apprenticeship, and there's a French law that governs that, then the company has to pay your tuition fees, and you as a student also receive a salary. And we have today around 25% of each class of the MIM program of apprentices. That's really something that students do use a lot. There's not only the financial side, there's also the possibility to discover the company, to create a professional network in the sector the company is in. And our apprentices are in a very large variety of different companies. That starts from top consulting companies like Boston Consulting Group, IBM and Google, but also in ministries, other public sector functions, health industry. Students really have the choice on the different sectors they would like to do an apprenticeship. Particularly the international students who are interested in an apprenticeship, it is open to every student, so there's no constraint on that. There might be some constraints as that some international students have to have stayed already for a couple of months in France, so maybe they can start the apprenticeship only in the second or third trimester of the program. But apart from these things where we can really consult every single student on the specific situation, there are no constraints, and in particular international students are doing it.
We do have many that get loans or support from their families, or some have had paid internships before they come, that they can save a little bit at least for their living costs. We do have a fantastic, actually, advice center for study funding at the University of St. Gallen, I must say, where we have scholarships sometimes, and I really encourage, if you are interested in SIM as an applicant, or that you have a look at their website, studyfunding.unisg.ch. There are loads of scholarships opportunities there, some that are relevant for one type of nationalities only, and they also offer emergency loans, because we realized that during COVID, for example, many families were in distress. So there's funding should ideally not be a reason not to do SIM. Let's put it this way. There is a great support there.
After graduation, our students, they usually find full-time positions in consulting, in financial services, in IT technologies as well. Our students, they have positions in Big Four companies like PwC or KPMG. They also have positions in Moody's Analytics, in McKinsey, and different other companies located all over Germany, and also abroad in the US and UK as well. Most of our alumni, they stay in Germany because they are able to secure their full-time positions like even before their graduation. according to our statistics, about 38% of our students, they secure the full-time position before their graduation, and 41% up to 3 months after their graduation. And as we do our semester abroad option during the 4th semester, they already have an opportunity to also experience this. So they are choosing a university abroad, and they can just spend 6 months there and also write their master thesis there. And then they just come back and start working.
The most SIMIs that complete the SIM, or the MIM, so to say, in St. Gallen, we have a big portion that do get jobs in strategy consulting or in-house consulting or maybe boutique consulting for the nature of the strategy work. I mean, we are a strategy and international management master, so there's a strong link to strategy, and many stay interested in this and use it as a career accelerator, as a career start accelerator. Another big area of career starters are in the corporate sector, so either strategy jobs or maybe more investing roles in finance. So we have pharma, we have banks, private equity coming in. And then the last bit, we're not the typical program for entrepreneurs, but we have a high entrepreneurial spirit amongst SIMIs. So many are interested in the VC sector, in startups, so they might pursue an internship during their SIM in a VC or a startup because they know at one point in their life they want to become entrepreneurs or want to co-found a company. So we don't have that many who actually found a company afterwards, so it's not a program for founders, but it's like I said, there's a great entrepreneurial spirit, so this aspect is still quite present amongst the SIMIs. I think those areas are the main ones. And consumer goods within the corporate, I think I forgot to say that's still also a classical one that sometimes within the corporate sector has a place.
Of course, as it is probably the case with many other business schools as well, our largest sectors where our graduates work in are consulting and finance industry. So they together make around 50 to 60% of the jobs where our graduates start working after graduation. But then also we do have a lot of graduates working in the IT and digital industries, in the health and pharmaceutical laboratories in particular. We have a very large alumni base there. In luxury industry, so we do have a lot of students in the master management program, probably also because we have the industry chair. We have 2 industry chairs related to luxury and a lot of expertise in that sector. So we also have a significant part of our graduates working in that sector. And we have more and more entrepreneurs who actually start their company. So the ESSEC incubator that is open for our students has created more than 400 companies in the last years, and many survived more than 5 years after graduation of the students, and then become much larger and more visible in their sector. I'm not sure what is the most common way, but there are several ways that are very much used by our graduates. So first of all, we do accompany, of course, our students by our career services team that organizes the different recruiting events, either our recruitment fairs, but then also specific events, for example, for top employer company that comes for one day to our campus and then has different talks to get in contact with the students. They also accompany students in setting up their CV and learning how to present themselves in a job interview, etc. So that is done by our career services. And then a second service that is available for our students are our alumni network. And as an ESSEC student, from the first day when you join the school, you become a member of ESSEC Alumni, so our alumni organization. And we do have an alumni office on our campus. And this alumni office is there to consult students on how to find internship, how to find a job then later on, to put students in contact. It also proposes a mentoring program where every MIM student, based on career interests, can be mentored by an ESSEC alumni who's working in that specific sector or domain the student is interested in. So these are 2 ways to accompany our students. And then how do students find the job? So one of the main ways to find the jobs through the networking, through the alumni network and the different company events that we propose, but not only. The ESSEC pedagogical model is also very strongly based on learning by doing. So for example, as I've mentioned, the apprenticeship program, many of our students who do an apprenticeship then get a job offer from the company where they have done the apprenticeship. We do have at ESSEC, and that's probably also specific to the ESSEC Master Management Program, within the specializations that I have mentioned, many of them are organized as industry chairs. And so that means that around a certain topic, so for example, our luxury brand management chair, it is proposed by ESSEC and the LVMH group. And so that means that the program is co-hosted and co-organized between a faculty member at ESSEC and executives from the company. And so there's a lot of interaction between the students and the sponsoring companies, and that is also a major way for our students to find their job.
At Frankfurt School, we have our career services for all students, international and German students as well. Once they are admitted, they can just approach our career services, show their CV, they can tell them that they are looking for a position and what kind of position they are looking for. Our career services, they can help the students prepare their CVs in German format. They can show them all the vacancies from different companies, not only in Frankfurt, but also near Frankfurt, so the students can travel as well to work and live here and study here. And we do have the job teaser, where all the vacancies are announced, and the students, they can easily access it and apply directly also to the companies. Frankfurt School also organizes Career Day every year in October. This year we had it online, which was a really success. We had almost 100 different companies there. And the students, they also had the opportunity to contact them this year virtually, but last year it was in person, and hope we will have it next year again in person. But the students have the opportunity to approach them, to introduce themselves, to hand in their CVs, and to tell them, hello, I'm here, look at my profile, and I'm available, and contact me if you're interested. Actually, I know in person a few students who did find their full part-time positions during our career fair, and one of them is working now in Munich, which is quite far, but she can still make it to travel there and back for studies and work.
I think the purpose of Sim Careers is really to enable the students to grow and ultimately to make more informed decisions based on being challenged on their long-term career goals. Because when we look at when we discuss with Simis about what their values are, their interests, their dreams, it's really about understanding their compass so that they say, okay, these are the drivers of my life. And we focus less on the career start, because every Simi will ultimately get a job. We want to take off the pressure from the students to say they will all get a job, and it's more important why they choose a certain job and what happens after that. And the activities that we offer at SIM in terms of careers and employability enhancement are all kind of linked in supporting that process. So either it's reflection related, it's skills enhancement, or it's support in actually going for those jobs that they have defined valuable for them.
After graduation, usually the average salary that our student gets is 54,000 euros per year, and 7,300 euros of bonus again per year.
So the average salary right after graduation, so for the first jobs that our graduates begin, is around 55,000 euros. And then after 3 years after graduation, that increases to 93,000 euros. Then, of course, it depends on the sector. So some sectors and some functions typically lead to higher salaries than some others. Also, that we see that our graduates who start their first job outside France, especially in the UK or in the United States, tend to have higher salaries. I think the average salary for those who work abroad is around between 63 and 65,000 euros.
I would have to refer to the Financial Times ranking, where they say it's on average 124,000 US dollars. But to give you a more maybe satisfactory answer, it really depends on those areas, right? So consulting pay, and the locations where the SIMIs choose to go to. So of course the Swiss starting salaries are rather high, but we do have areas where actually a starting salary in a certain sector, in a certain company like consulting, is even higher. In Germany, or on par, we have SIMIs in Luxembourg, in Holland, in all over Europe really, and some in Middle East, where also the starting salaries and the packages are rather high. So I think when we think starting salaries is of course the full package that should be taken into account. And I think the more relevant thing for applicants to focus on is the fact that the SIM does have very good opportunities for you to meet different companies, and on average SIM students have a few offers at the end of their studies, so that they can choose from. And I think this is relevant because whether the salary is good or not is always very relative. And I think our SIMIs do get good jobs, they get good career starts, and and that's we're very proud of them.